Conventional history tells us that New Zealand was perhaps the last country to be populated by humanity. Located in the southernmost part of the Pacific, we are told that the first Polynesians arrived around 1300 AD, with perhaps the Moriori's arriving a couple of hundred years earlier. In 1979, the Anthropology Department of Auckland University discovered, on private land, on Mount Tahanga at Opito Bay, Coromandel, an array of ancient standing stones. There was no excited announcement nor any media coverage, and so the matter was swept under the carpet, and the public in general were none the wiser. On the winter solstice of the 21st of June 2014, a small expedition, after gaining the owner's permission of course, went to investigate the sunset.
Right, amongst the many components that have been purpose-placed on the top of Tahanga Hill is this very, very special stone, which is the hubstone of the hill. And it's typical of the shape of many hubstones around New Zealand, a sort of a shark's fin shape. Now where it sits, the line from it to the peak of Moihau Mountain is 300 degrees. So one could use that for setting up the equivalent of an ancient theodolite. And then once that angle was known, the angle to north, south, east and west could be determined. And all of the outlying islands, some of them far off to the south, all around the horizon, every target, its position could be very accurately determined. Right, I'm at the hubstone, and directly behind me, over here, is Okinau Island. Now, it has a beautiful notch in it, and directly in line with that notch, on the sea horizon, is where the sun will rise. You'll get first glint of the sun on the day of the equinox.
The question is, who put these stones here with such precision? Standing stones were a characteristic of Neolithic times in the British Isles and parts of northern France, roughly between 4000 and 2000 BC. We know very little about this period except that these ancient people were obsessed with the marking of time and seasons in order to maximise their societies. Of all the varieties of standing stones in the British Isles, the ones in Ireland are most similar to the arrangements we find in New Zealand. A farmer in the Coromandel has discovered large stones or boulders on his property in places where they shouldn't be, and ones with markings that are not made by nature but painstakingly by human hand. In effect, these working solar observatories are scattered all over New Zealand in the form of an accurately placed hubstone to align with a prominent geographical feature on the solstice or equinox in order to check the accuracy of the ancient people's calendars. Auckland in particular, with its many volcanic cones, lends itself to an abundance of these solar observatories, as filmed by Maori television at the 21st of March equinox just past. Probably the most compelling evidence that these pre-Celtic were living in New Zealand around 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, and that they came from Ireland, is seen in the Bulleyn bowls, of which good examples are found near the Bombay Hills in Auckland. These are also abundant in the Irish Neolithic culture and used as either blessing or cursing altars, the forerunner of the Christian baptismal font. The silence by New Zealand authorities on our archaeological past is deafening, none more so than in the Northland Waipua forest, where in the late 80s a couple of $1 million was spent of taxpayers' money on an archaeological exploration which discovered evidence of an ancient civilization in a small section of this vast forest. Evidence of temples of worship, irrigation canals, stone houses, hearths and walls has been suppressed by government order until the year 2063. The big question is, why is this information suppressed? The government must come clean on this, and we as a nation must cooperate to learn more of our past and celebrate these very early mathematicians and surveyors who are the real tangata whenua of New Zealand.